Now we've left the crossing, everybody. The wildebeest seemed to decide that they had no desire to any longer cross the river and brisk the dinosaurs of the deep. And here we are on this sort of marsh that comes away from the Mara River. The Mara River is going to turn eventually into lots and lots of little oxbow lakes, and this is one of them forming. And in the background you can see a little elephant. Looks like a young bull, just recently separated from his herd, making his way on his own in this vast wilderness. And then we've got a whole lot of different things here, and one of which I don't think any of you have seen. This might be a SafariLIVE first. We've got something called a Defasser waterbuck. And instead of just having the ring around the bottom, they have got a great splodge of white fur. And that is how you distinguish the Defasser waterbuck from the standard issue waterbuck that you've got down there in South Africa. There is another elephant, I've just seen it. Jean-André, can you see it? There's between the two waterbuck over there, and he's just flapping the ears there. So maybe this young bull's not completely on his own. Then there are a couple of birds, some standard issue grey herons. Saw a black-headed heron here the other day. Oh, there they are. That little pair of birds standing next to each other, Jean-André, are black-headed herons. That you don't see in the Sabi sand. It's quite nice. And then we have a hamerkop off to the left-hand side. And the hamerkops, well, one of its closest relatives is a bird that we don't find, or is potentially found here, and one of the top birds I want to see, and that's a shoebill, which is an enormous thing with a bill that looks like a shoe. A pointed shoe. A bit like the shoe of, I don't know, one of those winkle pickers. Hello, Jeffrey in Texas. You said you thought you saw a Cory bustard across the way there from the zebra. I don't know if you get them here, Jeffrey. Let me check for you quickly. I have an East African bird application. Jean-André, will you show us these things while I embarrassedly find out whether you find a... Oh, come on, here we are. Cory bustard here. Will come shortly, everyone. Bustard, Cory bustard, map, yes. Jeffrey, they are found here. I don't think there was one next to the zebra that we were looking at, but it's possible that I missed it. We are doing some amazing dancing around in this vehicle trying to avoid each other, Jean-André and I. I will let you know that Jean-André has taken his very large boots off. They take up most of the back of this car, although he has not small feet. Then, over there, we've got a very gorgeous, actually, sitting in this wonderful light, herd of buffalo. And look, just beyond them, the unbelievable view. There goes the Defasser waterbuck. Mrs. Defasser, good evening to you. And beyond her, look at the plains of the most quintessential African scene you'll ever see. Now, many of you would have watched Out of Africa, that fantastic film with Meryl Streep and Robert Redford. My mother, by the way, is convinced my father looks like Robert Redford. He doesn't. Anyway, that's got nothing to do with the Defasser waterbuck, but this is actually largely where they filmed the wildlife scenes in that show. And Dennis Fitch Hatton was apparently buried not too far from here. Or there's a plaque in his honor. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, you're looking at the waterbuck, but just beyond it is just the most astounding view. You're looking sort of southwest now, and that's the Olololo escarpment on which we are staying. That's where we sleep. And so we look down into here every morning when we wake up, which is a great privilege. And one has to pinch oneself every time. And it's about 1,900 meters above sea level. that is it's just over 6,000 feet above sea level, so it's very high. There's a little calf. And down where we are now is about 1,500 meters above sea level, so it's almost a mile high, everybody. And that makes the climate very delicious indeed. Coldest it gets is about 9 centigrade, which I think sits at about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And the hottest is probably about 95 or so. And compared with the Sabi Sant, which regularly goes over 100, it's just a little bit more pleasant climate-wise in the summer. Now, what we're going to do is something, it's another Safari Live first, is we're going to drive live towards those buffalo. I'm just going to quickly get myself into a position to make that possible. You know, I never thought the day would come where I longed for Wendy and Rusty, but that day has arrived. Jandre, I think you feel the same. Oh, just quickly before we leave though, Jandre, the 2 elephants have come out and the light is just so unspeakably magnificent there. Isn't that gorgeous? That little woodland forest is in what will become an oxbow lake. An island in between this great winding river. That's just so beautiful. Sorry, I've missed that, Jessie. There's a nasty echo in my ear. Can we have it again, Becca? Oh, I see. You say that you've heard that elephants can seek out water using their feet over a vast distance. They can, what they can do is feel flowing water under the ground. So, well, I mean, as you know, on Cheetah Plains, they regularly dig up the pipes there. There's no artificial water in this area, though, and I'm not sure how much of it flows under the ground. So I think they probably find water here by remembering where it is. But absolutely, you know, those dry riverbeds of the Sabi sand, they can absolutely feel with their feet where the water is flowing under the water. So yes, it is possible, Debbie. Isn't that just the most gorgeous sight you've ever seen? I'm going to have to take a picture. Hello, Helene. You say this is so cool. I think this is beyond cool, isn't it? It's astounding that we're sitting here broadcasting from this particular area. I've wanted to come here for so very long, and to be able to share it all with you, who've experienced so many of my great wildlife highlights. Well, that's just a great honor, and I hope you're enjoying it. We're shortly going to head off to where we last saw the lions, and we'll see if we can't get a nice sighting of them as they get active. And just before they will hopefully do something useful tonight. Like I say, there's so much for them to eat here that I'm not sure how much they're going to try and feed on today. Now, what I would like you to all do, everybody, is take a very deep breath in, close your eyes, and I'll tell you a little bit about what you should be smelling. There's a tremendously fresh smell because of the rain we've had here. There's not very much in the way of dust. And if you listen, very subtle sounds. Oh, Jandre. Sorry, I'm going to just see what I've spotted here. Very subtle sounds of water birds calling waterfowl. Now, for those of you who like to keep bird lists, Jandre, that is absolutely brilliant. How did you see what I was looking at? There. I saw it before you, James. A grey-headed kingfisher. I'll sort him out later, everybody, don't worry. Isn't that lovely? That is beautiful in this light. I'm not going to try and get up again, Jean-André. I'm going to stay right where I am. Hello, James Richard. You were doing as I suggested, probably before I even suggested it. You're keeping a list of birds for the Mara, and you're excited to see how big it will be when we leave. Yes, me too. That one, of course, we do see, and we had a nest. Scott, the ultimate nest finder, found a nest of the grey-headed kingfisher on Arethusa. And it's nice to see them this side of the world as well. There's now this whole herd of elephant coming out into this glorious little seep of water. We'll see if we can find some other birds for you. We will go to those buffalo as well. Oh, this is just wonderful. Jean-André, is the reason you've got such big muscles because you've carried such big lenses like I'm carrying now? Exactly, he says, everybody, in case you missed that. He's taking this job very seriously, everybody. Every time anyone breathes in the back of the car here, he shouts at us. All right, we're going to head towards our lions, hopefully get to them around about sunset. While we do that, let's head across to Taylor, who apparently has found some water.